Starting a farm in Farming Simulator is always a difficult choice unless you decide that you want to start with a starting farm in $1 million, but if you're like me and you're a solid veteran, you like to start it the way that you started it on FS22, where you had $100,000 in the bank and you had some starting equipment and that's all you got. Well, here's 5 tips to boost your bank balance to help you along the way with Farming Simulator. So we'll begin with your harvester. Your starting harvester is normally terrible, but it holds a lot of value. Normally doubling your money, and in this case it's only timing it by 57%, but you can just sell it. You don't need that harvester. It's normally slow, it's not very wide, and that makes it not very productive. And if you're in single player, do you really need a second tractor? Because we all know that you're going to be driving the best tractor that you've got, so why not sell that one too? Lease a harvester each year because you'd only use it once, and you're only using it for one particular job, depending on what crop you've got, because sometimes you might use it twice if you've got other things that are harvestable at a different month. But yeah, just lease it, but don't just pick the best harvester, because yes, you want to get the job done and you want to get it done quickly, but if you're only earning 30 grand's worth of wheat from a field, but you're leasing a vehicle that's going to cost you 36 grand to lease it, you're wasting your money with that one. So don't go for something like the CR11, go for something like the class Arian, not the Arian, whatever it's called, and or even, maybe even just the next Maxi Ferguson up. It's going to be more than adequate for the fields that you do have on more starting farms, and it's at the quarter of the price that you'd lease with the CR11. Then next, we're going to look at the buildings that are available on the farm. So things like silos you're probably going to keep, but like a hayloft, are you really going to use it? Why not just get rid of it? Because it's a ton of money that you can earn. And then all the other miscellaneous things that you don't need, just get rid of them as well, and that will give you an extra bonus in cash. Because, I mean, you can just swap them out for cheaper and bigger components anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So if you're starting the farm, you're normally going to have a wheat field like this, and it's not going to have a great yield, but at least it's something that you can get out of the ground. But did you know that if you went down the route of animals, such as chickens, I did an experiment on Farming Simulator 22, and I did the same experiment on Farming Simulator 25, I sold the wheat as it was and it earned me $36,000, and then I fed it to the chickens, they laid some eggs, and that gave me $87,000. So animals are always beneficial, and you could even go with sheep as well with the money that you've got from selling your buildings, because sheep, low maintenance, eat from the pasture, you hardly ever find yourself feeding them, just have a few grass bales available just in case they do need some extra feed, and they'll earn you some wool, which is more valuable than gold on this game. The next tip is to not underestimate the power of a generator and a greenhouse as well. Generators can be good to cover the cost of building maintenance, which is always nice to have, and you can earn a few extra bob on top. Greenhouses, on the other hand, they only require one thing, and that's water. So why wouldn't you want to do a greenhouse? Because there's so many options in a greenhouse now, and you can even do mushrooms, which is a very, very good investment because they have a high selling price. If you're struggling for water, then there's an abundance of water on most maps, but if you're on a map that doesn't have water, then just build yourself a small rice paddock and then just fill it, and then you've got an unlimited supply of water free of charge whenever you want it. And then my final tip is not to go with a large equipment. Now, large equipment, you know, big tractors, big plows, big cultivators, all the other guppins, everybody wants that sort of stuff, but you don't really need it. What's the point in spending $674,000 on a tractor when you can get 3 tractors worth, let's say, $50,000 each, as well as a couple of plows, and it will do the same width at twice the speed? Like, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Always go with plentiful small equipment, none of the large stuff, and then that way you'll see your farm flourish a hell of a lot better than investing all your money into big equipment. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. So if you've learned anything, like, subscribe. If you've not learned anything, like, subscribe anyway. And I will see you all in the next video. And I hope you've learned something from this.